Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be back on the stage at CTF. This time we got a basic panel, as we call it, the CTO-CIO panel. So before I start, I just want to highlight that we've all seen an agenda. It's packed where people are going to be talking about details in regards to technologies and innovations. What we want to do with this panel, hence why we got the hands of the organization when it comes to technology, it's to make sure that we'll talk about the visions, ambitions, and the plans, and what each of the organizations are doing, especially what are they investing in, why, because that's why hopefully that'll give you a bit of teaser with the limited time that we have, but I'm sure we'll meet with them or meet with the people of the organizations across the day. Without further ado, I think I'll make a start. We can see that we've got developers, contractors to sell this, which is amazing. While I'm representing KDR, I'm also UN, so I'm going to be doing the piece making to you guys. So if there's any debates, I'll be using my UN hat for that. I'd like maybe to start with Anas, just because you have to first say he was mine. I want to start it from a consultant perspective. Anas, I know within Atticus Israelis, you guys had a strategy for the past 4 years. Now that you've implemented that strategy, move forward, what does that look like moving forward from what you guys have been doing in terms of digital implementation, and now moving forward with the future engagement, especially when it comes to digitization?
Thank you, Alistair. Good morning, everyone. So, yeah, I think I've talked about this early last year in this very conference that we started back in 2020 as phase B of our global digital future strategy. That focused on setting up the foundation for data, structured data. I know you have heard about structured data a lot of times. The past 2 years got we started there, like analytics. My colleague Oliver, somewhere here in the crowd, he's doing a automatic with that, and a lot of automation. Now, we spent years setting out these foundations just because now we are able to derive some of the benefits related to trends not strictly in the design realm, but also be able to pick up on the disruption of AI that is here. And it's going to grow significantly over the next 5 years. Generative design is where we're going to be focusing. As an organization, we have been investing heavily, first in understanding what is going on from a governance perspective globally. So you must be aware that recently you have set up an AI policy. In response, we set up in a very timely manner last summer our own policy to drive development that the concerns of data ownership, cybersecurity, while we pursue this generative AI, not just on design. 30. I think a lot of that will be related also to how to disrupt site operations, which is going to be our focus this coming 2 years. How this good work, foundational work of drones, robots, will take the next step. And I'm going to talk about my peers in this room later on.
So you're moving away from the digital transformation within the organization into how can you implement it across, especially bringing in AI, and that's why that makes sense to bring into this conversation. Representing, I know it's been a short journey so far, but I'm sure it's been full of excitement, and I would like you to share with us. Being involved with one of the largest contractors, if not in Saudi, in the region, how do you adopt digitization, especially when people talk about AI and they've got all this going on at the same time? We've got I wouldn't say the basis, but the foundation that we need to build and make sure that we take our time to build it. How does that apply from a contractor perspective?
Thank you very much for the question. Is it just mentioned relatively new to the industry, but if I really compare it to, I would say, the more mature technology key industries, definitely there is this idea that the construction industry is somehow that lagging behind in terms of adopted technologies. That manifests itself because the nature of work that needs to be developed, where you really need to focus on delivery and the instruction is Ontario. However, I see a lot of developing technologies that are very, very relevant to the industry right now. But unfortunately, when you look at the landscape and the contractors in general, there seems to be still that lag. Part of what you did at Nesua is you established, started off business transformation, a digital transformation plan back in 2020. I mean, you've had a number of initiatives before that, but by 2020, we actually developed a full-fledged roadmap where we focus on all aspects of business and to introduce some digital solutions that really tackles some of these pain points, to introduce much better efficiencies, faster processing, all the way from the subcontractors, your assets, what have you. You've seen since we developed these initiatives, going forward, a significant improvement in terms of cost cutting and efficiencies in the process in a very massive way, including, for example, I can mention one example. We developed what we call the vendor, the 360, where the vendors can actually go, and it's a one-stop shop for them to really see everything related to the beginning of registration all the way to the invoices, monitoring them, all aspects of the contract, and then there's what, and that has helped us significantly reduce the costs associated with this at the time, as well as having much better transparency and more data-driven decisions, if you will, as a result of that. And you can take that and apply it to all aspects of the value chain, if you will, and we've seen that translating into, as I said, for example, 50% of all contracts that we read that they are now being signed digitally. Almost 75% of all invoices are submitted non-digitally, which gives faster processing, which gives you not worrying about that aspect, and effectively leading to better cost optimization. So definitely this aspect is helping us manage the overall process much better. We'll continue this process. It's an initiative that started, as I said, 4 years ago, and we're continuing with it. One thing for sure is we've noticed as you started to do all these new digital solutions, one of the biggest challenges that you have is a change map. People are used to doing things in a specific way, a lot of very process and what have you. By introducing these, you do have to go through, back and forth until you get into it. But once they get it, once it becomes part, but now they're actually asking for much more digital aspect of these solutions. So we'll see a better adoption, I would say, to these kind of solutions, leading eventually to have much better data-driven solutions, leading up to leveraging AI and other aspects of data-driven solutions to improve the process.
So change management, maybe that's why I would like to bring Scott in. As one of the biggest vendors in Saudi, you guys have been delivering quite a lot when it comes to very amazing hotels which I look forward to stay at. I wanted just hearing Abi talk about change management and just triggering on the journey that you guys have had, especially with you've been driving beer from early days in the kingdom. How does that look like from a change management perspective, and how did you learn from that into what you're going to do, what you're doing now with it, especially with your payment journey and moving away from payment to whether it's reality capture and beyond as well? Well, if you could tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Our Ben journey started around 2019, and the industry was quite immature at that time. I would say that maybe half the consultants had BIM capability. We were mandated on all of our projects, and I think what we ran into was that a lot of the disciplines, like landscape, interior design, kitchen and laundry, were not at the same place with some of the big signature architects like Foster and Partners. So, if I take Foster as the example, they invested heavily around 2015. And so when we started working with them in 2019, they were way ahead of everybody. And even the engineers, you would think we're keeping pace, we're still behind. And so we've had to thrive, and because of our contractual requirements, we have seen consultants really invest in this change management, digitization of what they do. We've seen it with across all of the disciplines, and so that's allowed us to move from a very unintegrated process where consultants could not achieve level of development for 300 or 350 at LOD 300. They couldn't achieve it in 2019, in 2020. Richard and I did a project together, volumetric construction in those days. It was early on. So, what is the status quo now? What's the level of maturity now? We are saying, I would say, more like 75-80% consultants have invested. They built this capability. There are still boutique firms out there that don't have it, and we need to manage that in how we're contracting design and engineering services. And so this maturity has moved from design into construction. Amana, Nesman, these guys have embraced it. So 4 or 5 years ago, they got a lot of by Bimsy here. 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a third of contractors had internal BIM capability. Today, it's 70% plus on our projects because they've been through one project cycle with us. And rather than outsourcing it, they've seen the benefit. The type of benefits that we've seen is 80% reduction in design issues, coordination issues. We've seen a 700% decrease in drawings being produced from bottles. And so therefore we know that they're dimensionally coordinated at the interfaces, that there's a high level of confidence in the design intent. So I think it's allowing us to deliver better quality, faster, and more efficiently.
Absolutely. Talk about efficiency. Amanan. You guys have started talk about early stages, modular and offsite construction at very early stage. I remember the days where I went to your very small factory back in the day, and I thought these guys are either crazy or they're gonna make a change. And I'm glad to see that you guys are growing quite faster than in the meter. Now, that wasn't enough, was it? Modularization was just a starting point. You had to bring in a lot of digitization to it to make sure that it can actually drive your productization efficiency. But now I'm hearing that you have something to announce, which is productization of modular. Can you tell us a little bit about this and what led you to that decision of productization? And more importantly, what do you see as the challenges? Just how you saw challenges of bringing modular to construction, now moving to the next level, which is productization of modular. How do you see that's going to be challenging in this year?
Thank you, Anas. I would like to thank you because I wouldn't introduce someone better than what you did. As you correctly mentioned, as Amana, we always had the vision to move or to continue in moving the industry from conventional to as close as possible to manufacturing, to hand improving efficiency and reducing the risk, bring more certainty the delivery of any project. And to do that, we had to adopt whatever technologies available to maximum extent, because when you design for manufacturing and assembly, that will require a high
much more higher details, more details, and higher accuracy. And that what helped us to you succeed in the modular work. Now that we moved into modular, we start also seeing the importance within the same vision and direction of having product. So talk same language of manufacturing, having a specific product, because when we have a product, you have a waste time. You can focus on improving the product for a project or another. You can reduce the inefficiency of redesigning every time, going to the drawing board to redesign very basic elements, because just there are changes or it's a bespoke project. The challenges that we expect to face is that there is some compromise when it comes to being a bespoke. We know that every client would like his building to be different than any other building. However, does every project is to be bespoke? We always understand that some project has to be bespoke, and some constraints, being natural constraint, geographical constraint, which force us to have bespoke designs for some bespoke condition. But there are some basics which we productize, who will be able to support our clients, consultants, in offering them pre-designed, pre-validated design of a product, of multiple products of this type. So this is an investment that we are, if someone are ready to do, and we hope other contractors also will do the same. So we can at some point offer to clients ready-made solutions, and they can focus on the more critical and complicated part of their projects.
So it's exciting times, and I look forward to seeing that. I just would like to remind everyone, if you have any questions, please do use the QR code to submit your questions through the app. Talking about apps, the amount of the super apps of the industry. I know since joining Roshan, Jay, you've been implementing a clear roadmap when it comes to developing a super app for Roshan. Not just Roshan as for their employees, but also beyond. Can you tell us a bit more about this? I don't want to make any assumptions or take conduct.
Sure. Hi, good morning, Apple. Thanks, Bruce. So what I would say slightly over a year ago, PM marked venture capital abortion. And we talked in terms of how do you reach that type process and experiencing customers. And that's where the thought of building an app, and eventually it kind of grew into an idea of a super app, considering where Group as a business is heading and what the market also requires in terms of accessibility and the high level of penetration when it comes to additional pleasures. So we began our journey by understanding what is our core, which is selling outdoors, selling homes. And you were surprised that when we started is this initiative of building a super app, buying a home online was a far-fetched idea, because everybody likes to have the physical presence, going to a sales and buying your first home. And to our surprise, we did our first online unassisted sale close to maybe 9 months, 10 months ago. And we never had any interaction with this person, and the person actually went blinded at order we should go, completely unassisted. And today that numbers are growing, and you see a lot of adoption in terms of people buying their phones completely online. So the platform allows you to kind of browse, go through the details of the whole, look at the topology and the master plan, look at the internal views, select the properties, and continue the process, authenticating with a FAT and pay your deposit for the home and signing your SPA and become a homeowner. And that can be all done online today on the web as well. And subsequent to that, we're adding more journeys onto the platform, which includes, how do you deal with the community, how do you live in a Roshan community, what are the Roshan experiences that are coming in. As you know, Roshan also has a retail mall, which is the Roshan front. We're integrating that part of the app as well. There's a roadmap in terms of building a marketplace where you can avail all the services. So we are expanding that outside of the motion ecosystem as well. We get partners and how we can bring in partners to work with us on a single platform. And also, of course, there's critical items that are coming in the roadmap, being able to, get mortgage, insurance, and all of that is coming within the platform as well. And so this ecosystem it helps to build a better customer experience, but also gives us better, insights of what the customers want, the customers' behavior, understanding a little bit more in terms of the feedback from the customers, and sending those feedbacks back to our design teams, even to producing the products that Rochelle is selling, and how do we do that going forward. And of course, the world heading towards, adopting more AI. That is also in the roadmap in terms of how we personalize offerings, how we curate information that will reduce that to our customers going forward. And that's kind of in a nutshell of what we want to eat.
Amazing. Better way to work better. And do we work better in the kingdom than anywhere else? Because I can see in the kingdom a lot of people do like to use technology, and I don't think they would mind using an app to buy a house. So it's an amazing place to do it. So good luck with that. Now I'll come back to you with a few more questions on this. As a contractor, you are going through a journey, and just going back into what Jared just talked about in terms of ecosystem, your supply chain, etc. You guys have a huge supply chain as a contractor. How does that, I don't want to talk about challenges, how does that come from? You guys have a strategy, developing your digital technologies internally, you have all your ERP systems and everything else in place. How does that go towards your supply chain? Because making them more or asking them to use your technologies might be challenging. How do you bring that to your level of digitalization in order for you to go beyond where you are?
Thank you for the question. Obviously, the adoption of the technology, as I said, in the industry, used to be lagging compared to others. But as they started to see the benefit, we started off obviously with the basics. Instead of having to submit all your papers and so on as a subcontractor, you just register online, making that the process easy. Obviously, at the beginning, not all your suppliers have the same level of maturity. Some of them would be really happy with this approach, and then be forthcoming, probably suggesting even enhancements. But we've been running this now as a subcontractor and Mojo for roughly 3 years now, and we're seeing now a new flux of adoption. Now, instead of having to contact someone or try to do someone to know how to submit, it's all there, it's all out there. You go there, you register, all the requirements are very clear, and it makes it much easier for us to have better insight about our subcontractors. And quite recently, when we introduced this Vendor 360 portal, if you would, it's a one-stop shop for all our suppliers. So that now, as I said, you can track all the contract, all the items of the contract, all your invoices, everything is in one place, and they can already see the benefits. Obviously, not all our suppliers are using the services, but quite a large percentage of them are already doing it. All the way to even the signatures being digital, so that the whole process is becoming now seamless. It's helping us develop a much bigger database of all our suppliers, as opposed to the previous process where everything was PDFs, sheets and paper. Have you now everything is there. We develop a quite a massive database, if you will, of all our subcontractors, their capabilities, even their evaluation after the work is done is all in one platform. So that helps us, it helps them, it gives them even the history of everything they've done for us, and then based on that, all the value associated with this, we're seeing bigger adoption from all our subcontractors.
Amazing. It's really good to hear that from the contractor perspective, pushing it down so the subcontractors. That's the way it should be done. Glad to hear that. I realized that we received a lot of questions. Maybe I should highlight the QR that's be. If I do miss your question, please feel free to maybe cash out these data. Sure, we would be able to, but I'll try my best to group some of the questions together. There's a few questions right now. Maybe I should start with that. A lot of people are asking about productization. First of all, would that be a cost saving and how will it be cost saving, especially to Saudi Arabia projects, specifically to the likes of people next to you, which is Roshari, with that productization drive cheaper construction, which i.e. the ability to achieve cheaper housing, cheaper infrastructure for the likes of Red Sea and the list. Would that be the case?
It will definitely, especially after it build traction, when you have economy of scale and you start capitalizing on the saving coming from being more efficient. Because with productization, you will have better reach and better control on the supply chain, be able to help the supply chain elevate to the level of also be able to share their saving and efficiency in that. They will be saving on not repeating and investing at the design every project. And when it comes to the execution, one being moderate and second being a product that the company has built many times, all that is gonna translate into cost efficiency.
Absolutely, thanks. Another question for Red Sea. You drew your picture, Jerry. Now, I know you're group head of engineering for Sami, but I obviously the big benefits of using digitization, especially in design and engineering, we all know it, from crash detection to coordination, and the list goes on. Especially if you have multiple consultants working from all over the world, working in one place, one sort of truth, that's amazing. What about beyond, where obviously Red Sea and Amala are going to be asset owners and asset managers as well? Are you guys using BIP beyond digital, beyond delivery into asset management operation as well?
I would say that's down the road for us. We are, but it's not as robust as our project delivery cycle. I think what we're focused on right now is reducing the engineering time during construction. What we're seeing when we review our projects is that the trade contractors are too slow in producing the contractor information models and therefore the shop drawings. And so we're doing a couple things to try to speed that up. One is we're trying to get our consultants to give us a better final product and deliverables, and to reach a true LOD 300 or 350 level of modeling. And right now we're undertaking something very unique in that we are pre-engineering, while we're going through procurement, the trade contractor packages. So we already know what our packaging strategy is. Our consultants know it. They're producing package-based deliveries. We are taking that, and we have a number of M consultants that have been working with our contractors. And we've gone to them and said, hey, we want you to pre-engineer this package so that we can speed up the process, where when the contract is awarded, there's very, very minor coordination, and then the contractor can hit the ground running. We're not waiting, 120, 150, 180 days to get the shop drawings done. So that's a big initiative. Now, if we're doing all of these things correctly, and we're doing reality capture and using drones to ensure that our as-built drawings are right, and we end up with this data-rich contractor model at the end, then that can go into FM. You start to get the benefits that you're talking about. I would say that we are at the early stages of that, because we've got to get the right outputs from our supply chain at the end of these projects. And so our first phase is really just now starting to materialize in terms of open to assets. But I think as we've move further through our first phase and deliver more of these assets, that the attention is turning to contractor model quality, and then obviously the information that can go into a CAFM system at the end.
Absolutely. That's it. Look forward to seeing that, especially when you have quite a big push when it comes to smart cities. So I think that will play a big role in that, with the assets of wish bubbles. Lots of questions about AI. I know there's going to be a lot of conversations about AI, but I know Jay and Anas, you both mentioned AI briefly. Jay, if I may, what does AI look like for Ocean, and what's your journey when it comes to AI, especially from use cases? What are the use cases that you look at becomes AI in Ocean?
I'll just be for that. I mean, two things, right? So from a construction phase perspective, we're definitely looking into leveraging AI, doing combinational designs from our standard, connecting with financial models in terms of what type of product fits best for what's client. And from a consumer insight perspective, in terms of personalizing on the layer, in terms of understanding the customer behaviors, understanding the needs of our customers in terms of the behaviors of how they're using the app, and how do we kind of curate those informations accordingly, ensuring offers, ensuring the right information for those customers going forward. I mean, this in brief, two of the use cases. We've got many more in the pipelines, but just kind of get that to you.
Amazing. As I know you just gave the US, so maybe you could tell us a little bit more briefly about what you saw at the Autodesk University, especially when it comes to AI, and how you guys doing that within Packets.
Yeah, so I'm eager to share some thoughts and key takeaways. So and I know some people in the room have also joined. I think this year was a bit more down to earth. I mean, the opposite speech in the sessions, the AI hype, the night despise they were AI, particularly deep learning, but it started, landing, still big, but landing. So people are a bit more practical about the approach. I think two key takeaways is system integration. You will keep happening. We've all been frustrated as designers, consultants, contractors with this product, not with this product, or the silos between vendors. So I think now all these strategic partnerships between vendors supported by an AI layer, we start addressing next year onwards those system integration issues. So file formats going from one platform to the next would be easier. And that leads to the second part, which is about data connectivity. So a lot of the discussions, workshops, with Intel, NVIDIA, it's all about data architecture, corresponding system architecture. But one thing that surprised me really, and I'd like to share this room, is how all these big tech companies like NVIDIA, HP, they have now reconfigured addressing the need for AI. Their products that have some processors dedicated to AI. So you have your CPU, your GPU, and now your NDU, your neural processing unit. And that, if you see the benefits, you are talking about a 100-fold increase in computation power, which means your efforts in data analytics, whether it's trends or let's say productization, or we talk about generative design or score design, will be a bit more, let's say, in a shorter time frame, because the energy consumption is not as high. And a direct benefit I perceive, especially for construction, on-site operation, it is the surprise the sectors had these smaller units where they could become mini servers on site, especially for remote areas where you traditionally have connectivity issues, and a lot of the good things that we consider now foundation as PMO GIS are very hard to work. So a shift from the cloud to individual powerful units supported by AI processors to achieve what we want to do as a supply chain.
In this short time, we had the chance to talk about modular, productization, BIM and beyond, AI, super apps, digital transformation, etc. But if I would like to ask you in one word, if you look into your crystal ball, okay? If I were to ask you within your position, where do you see the future heading when it comes to digital or technology or innovation within the industry? In you choosing one tip, what would it be? Maybe I'll start with you, Scott. One tip.
Sorry, one what?
What type of technology that you'd see that's going to make a big difference in the industry?
Well, I think it's got to be AI. We're generating so much data from so many best-of-breed products and systems. I think, and it's just right. It's going to be about system integration in the future. And when we talk to some of the largest engineering companies globally, there's a shortage of resources, and they're looking to automate. How do they cut down their production cycles? I think that's going to be the key.
So, Richard?
I would say from a technology perspective, automation supported by AI. And from another perspective is I would like to relate, when you started, you had this whole joke, like a joke about the friction usually between contractors, consultants, and developers. But after hearing panels and seeing what's happening in the Kindle, I believe the industry reached a certain level of maturity where we can see all of us using the technology, we can complement each other, and I see friction is being eliminated.
I said, so AI again, but different use case. I said, Jay?
Well, I come from technology background, and it's hard to pick a particular technology because we evolved that. But I think it's fundamentally going to cut down any technology that's going to help build more human-centered design or human-centered products. Because I think there will be too much of technology where people want to go back to take a bit of human. So anything that helps to articulate and bring out or human-centered feel to it, it's that's good.
Amazing. Not an answer that I expected from you. As
Big supporter of human-centric. That's why, automation, all these things are here for. Technology trend, it's going to be agent-based AI, so that's the next generation. Or essentially programs or sub-platforms acting as programs where we be talking to each other with certain degree of human intervention. The human factor will never go out with the door. The SME, the expertise we kept humans for the time being. However, Damien is true. I'd like to note slight deviation on the thing. The government here, the entities here, and I know they're really there with data security, data integration, cybersecurity. Should invest in the infrastructure, in the CIO, push for data centers to be established here to allow a lot of the good work that could be done to be done.
last but not least, Sammy?
I would have to say AI, but AI again is something that everybody talks about. But when you get to the specifics, you really need to do a lot of work into that. So it's all about collecting enough data, doing more about your data, and then once you have that level, definitely AI would be a major role. Both traditional AI, generative AI, and agentic AI, as it automates a lot of the environment around you, whether you're in construction or, also because you're actually using this application. So AI definitely is here to stay. I think it would beyond be the hype. Now people are really basing themselves at the understanding is to which cases would be very relevant. I can make a mention of one quick example where we've used AI fused, if you will, algorithm to better manage the maintenance of all our assets. So we've collected enough data about our assets in terms of utilization or time to automate a notification of maintenance throughout. So it's helping us definitely get those good at place.
See? With the time that we've had, Avin, Hanas, Jay, Richard, Scott, thank you very much for your insight. Thank you very much for your contributions. I'm sure that it's not enough to talk about technology in this time that we've had, but I hope this is good enough information to trigger the conversations throughout the day. So thank you very much for your contribution. Thanks to all the audience for your questions. Apologies I've not had the time to catch all your questions, but please feel free to catch any of those if time allows to talk about your questions or concerns. With that said, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day.